I'm admiring your hair.
Oh, thank you.
It's always been my dream. I wanted curls like that. They were red. Your colour's not quite right. I wanted bright red corkscrew curls. And the nearest I got, for a number of years I could use thinner and make myself red, but I never got the curls.
I mean, I work Monday to Tuesday, but I'm heading to I was really doing a breakdown with the hours and who you've got.
I'm not the one with all the hours, and I'm the manager.
No, but that's how we'd like to kind of
do it. I don't
You
need
don't.
to be there. I have a very good team.
Yeah. We just want a fuzzy feel when you go in. And
Yeah, we're getting that back again now. COVID, the last 2 years have been horrible.
Awesome that you're connecting and sharing information as well. Really,
yes,
it's such an important part of these events to just bring people together.
Yeah.
Well done.
So, because I wanted to talk to Jan about your the food and things. So Rose Barnes,
Yes, yeah.
and you guys do cooking and put food in the freezer. So who was it for?
That's for anybody who likes to, who needs it in whatever way. And I think it's largely used in our community for new parents
Yeah.
or where there's an illness in the home and people, just a need like that. So it's not on a permanent basis. It's cooked food, but it
so
is
we've talked
frozen.
about that too.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
having
so-
soup available or something. So
Yeah.
if someone just comes in and they're at the end of their tether for whatever reason,
Yes.
there's that emergency.
Yeah.
Well, we have
Sorry,
that.
I'm just going to pause
all
the
of it.
conversation
Yeah.
just to
Yeah,
no,
keep
I
us
need
us
to-
on
yeah,
track.
But I would, I'd like to.
Awesome. So the next session today, we're going to be diving into what you can control when your resources are limited.
That's good.
We all have limited resources, of course, and what I really like about this topic is that it's so frustrating when there are so many things outside of your control, especially in your positions where you want to do so much good, but you don't have those resources to necessarily achieve all of those dreams. And they are really great ideas, like the food idea and having all of these resources available, but when you don't have movement in one area, being able to let go of the need to make it work and focus on what you can control instead. I really like this quote. Going back to the quotes. I cannot always control what goes on outside, but I can always control what goes on inside.
I need to take that
You need
as
to
my
remind
personal
yourself.
motto.
You need to remind yourself. So
And it is reminding ourselves because, you can get frustrated at the government, you can get frustrated at the way that the global system works, you can get frustrated at all of these things that are outside of our control. And when we recognize that there's a real grace in letting go of all of those things and allowing ourselves to show up regardless in our roles and being able to control the things that we do have control. So I wonder, what might those things be? What are some of the things that we do have control over?
Our own response to the situation.
Yeah, that's an awesome one, Jenny. Definitely. Response is a big one, isn't it?
I was about to say it's the
I was
only
going to
one,
say,
isn't it?
how many of these courses have I done in my number of years?
Response.
your journey.
My
journey.
Yeah, my awareness is good. My practice.
Yeah, but ever evolving, right? That's great. There was a quote actually before that I didn't share, but it's, we're either green and growing or ripe and rotting. So just showing up to have these conversations is super important, eh? Yeah. What else is within our control?
I guess how much time we give, how much energy we give, how much thought we give.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Totally. That's a real big one, isn't it? Time boundaries. Yeah, recognizing that we're all super busy humans and giving time as a volunteer, how much you're going to extend yourself that could potentially take away from you.
Yes.
It's actually really hard.
Mm.
You know, that whole busy person who's busy, that gives them something to, and yeah, you can definitely think, but then if people aren't stepping up, you know, but then sometimes you have to actually step back, like the lady who's quite, you know, and actually allow people to come through. As well.
Create a space that people can step into, and
Because it's not all on one person, that's for sure. So,
Yeah.
but people often won't step out of the position. You know, that becomes grumpy lady, you know.
No, she's not. It
Yeah.
doesn't really matter about her, but
Yeah.
yeah, no. But for me, it's stepping back and allowing people, because I'm taking control and not letting them come forward. So I need to delegate.
And also let people do it their way, which isn't necessarily your way. And man,
Yeah,
I
exactly.
hope that.
Yeah.
I had
Difficult too.
I really find that hard, you know. I see something and
Yeah, just get
that's
on
the
with it.
result and that's what you need to
Yeah.
do it. But no, we'll go,
Exactly. And that's a really great point, is
Yeah.
that because we all see life through the different lenses that we've grown up with, we do have such a different interpretation of what reality is, how it is to just get that thing done. And it's completely outside of our control. And recognizing that is so important, eh?
yeah, walk away and don't watch.
Set up the expectations, be clear.
Yeah,
All of
yeah,
those
and then
things.
run.
I think attitude's really important, so you can control your attitude, can't you?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, definitely your attitude. I wanted to share with you a story about a client of mine who, she had a really controlling mother, and her mother was very judgmental of people, so she would always be little snarky comments about everyone. And she grew up in this environment where she just cared so much about what other people thought, and she would always put her emphasis on the outside world, what's outside of her. And she was running around like a blue-ass fly, trying to just make everyone happy, do all of these things to make sure that everyone was taken care of, so that nobody would think that she was lazy, nobody would think that she wasn't putting in effort. And as a business owner, you can imagine how much extra stress she's just putting on herself. And once we had identified where the behaviour came from, and she realised that it was a behaviour that she had subconsciously created, therefore she could change the narrative, the story that she was telling herself, she was able to just let go of the need to always make everyone else happy around her and stop caring so much about what others think of her. And it was such a profound moment, because that was the one thing that was stopping her from being effective in her position, because she just gave so much energy and effort towards others rather than using that energy for more productive things. So,
Parental voices are very strong.
everyone has one.
Several.
Yeah, several, definitely.
One?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Definitely. And there's always one parent that was the enmeshed parent, so that's the parent that becomes the inner voice, becomes the inner narrative. And when people don't know these things, they're just wound up by this voice and continuously listening to them. So when I'm coaching people, really understanding where they come from, what is the tribal pattern that has been playing out in their mind, and how that affects their behaviour and therefore their business, because of the way that they're behaving as a result of that. So it's super important to recognise that, yes, we need to have compassion for the people that are responding like that, or reacting like that rather, but we can't control that, and then